this evening, and sorry, a little bit under the weather. The Singeshwar Prabhu has been hosting this program for a long time, I think. Some of you are part of his Sangha. How many of you are part of this Sangha? Not so many. I mean, we're all part of the Sangha in one sense, but regular members of this. You have every Friday meeting?
Yes, Maharaj.
Been going on for a long time.
17 years.
I'll need the book. I need the computer later. How many years?
17.
17 years this Sangha has been going on. Perhaps one of the older ones in New Jersey, central New Jersey at least. And we've known him since we've been coming here, I think.
Cannot hear it.
Yeah, what are we going to do about that? I can't read the book if you put it there. I can't see a thing. I cannot see a single thing in the book. All I can see is the microphone.
Mic is off. Mic is off. Mic is off.
Is that better? And not only that, but where's your son, where's your children?
They're in college now.
Oh, they're in college now.
And, my daughter went to attend the Vyasa Puja of Hridatoja Swami Talas.
Who?
Hridatoja Swami.
He's initiated by Richard Vajman.
Not initiated, aspiring.
Aspiring.
Yeah.
Nice. His children also devotees. Very wonderful example. And also, he loves to see that Prabhupada's books are distributed. We'd like to see the books distributed.
Yes, Maharaj.
Everyone's cooperating.
Yes.
The whole community is engaged in book
Yes.
distribution.
Not all, but
That's a lot.
Some.
A lot. Good. Everybody knows that's the dearest thing to Srila Prabhupada in terms of practicality and in preaching Krishna consciousness, is to see that his books are distributed widely. Of course, we also know that Prabhupada said he didn't just write these books for distribution, but they're also for us to read. And I'm sure everyone in this room wishes they could read more. Many of you don't put the time aside or don't have the time. Many of us don't read much from Prabhupada's books, but that's why he's written them, primarily for the devotees to hear the science of Krishna consciousness, to become spiritual scientists. So we're reading now. I'm going to read it. We're not actually reading it, but we're going to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. How many of you have read the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita, all three Leelas to the end, beginning to end? Hands up. Maybe 4 or 5. Not so many. How many of you have read the whole Srimad Bhagavatam up to the 12th canto, inclusive? 4, 5, 4 or 5, some more or less the same hand, not exactly, but similar hands. How many of you read the entire Bhagavad Gita, including the purports from beginning to end? Probably some of you don't understand the question, maybe. Some of you didn't hear the question, maybe. Some of you may not have read the whole Bhagavad Gita in any language, and others may have been a little shy. How many of you have read Nectar of Devotion from beginning to end? Very few. Very few. How many of you have read Ishopanishad from beginning to end? Some. What else? How many of you have read Krishna book from beginning to end? Who's not read? Maybe. Yeah, you should know. Not many. There's a lot of reading to do, isn't there? We have festivals, which is important, and puja, which is important. But the secret of spiritual life is hearing from the bona fide spiritual master in disciplic succession. So when we read Prabhupada's books, we're hearing, we're associating with Srila Prabhupada. So this evening we'll read something from Prabhupada's books. This is not going to replace your own, let's say, opportunity for associating with Prabhupada daily. As we mature, as we grow in age especially, and perhaps our responsibilities either become more regulated, our inclinations for wasting time reduce, our inclinations for sense enjoyment reduce, perhaps our children grow and become a little self-reliant to the point, of course, where they become completely independent in materially speaking. We should try to fill the gaps nicely. When you have young babies, I know it's always more challenging, but as the children grow, hopefully you have more time on your hands. I don't know, it'd be good if you do. But if you do, try to fill those gaps. Not just fill the gaps, try to adjust one's life in a way which is more favorable for the practice of pure devotional service for chanting, particularly chanting and hearing. Of course, the cultivation of pure devotion, of pure chanting, will automatically and inseparably will be there. One's inclination for service will also be increasing. Krishna gives the capacity for expanding one's service also. That is, we're just talking about hearing and chanting here, which is also service, of course it is. It's prime service. To hear and chant about Krishna is practically the most important service. Because what are we here for? Why have we come tonight? For the prasadam? They've come for the prasadam, is it? Is that why they came? No? Maybe, some. One of the things. What else have you come for?
Hearing.
Hearing what? You want to hear Hari what? Oh, Katha. I said something else. Hari Katha. What is Hari Katha? What is Hari Katha? What's your name? Om. 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 Nice name. Krishna's name. What is Hari Katha? Do you know?
Hari Katha is the transcendental sound vibration that glorifies Lord.
Nice. Sound vibrations that glorify Lord Hari. Very nice. So topics concerning Lord Hari. Related to Lord Hari. Spoken. Katha. Any other reasons you may have come tonight? Maybe your family brought you along.
Association of devotees.
Association of devotees, very nice. Maybe you came to drive your wife or something here. Many times people have become devotees because they drove one family member to the temple so long they also became devotees. Sadhu Sangha, similar to association of devotees, isn't it? I think that's more or less the same, but it's an important factor. Anything else? Any other reasons they come? They want to learn something maybe?
Yeah.
Get some Shastra degree? Hopefully not material reasons. I'm sure that's not the case here, but some sanghas, they have some mixed reasons too. Sometimes looking for a partner. Sometimes that's down. Other things. But let's go to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Since most of you have not read it, you know of it. You may have it in your homes. How many of you have the Chaitanya Charitamrita in your home? Hands up. One finger. Put a hand up.
Hands up.
More have got the book than have read it, that's for sure. And some of you don't have it? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anyway, we could go on and on, but we're going to get off that veil. So if you've got it, at least dust it once a year. And get the duster out and at least do some puja once a year or some kind. Dust it. There's an invocation generally before we read. We'll hear Chaitanya Charitamrita, so please repeat. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
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 Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai
Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
I'm going to read from chapter 8 of the Adi Leela. You might be able to follow, but I'm not going to read in sequence exactly, to some degree, but not exactly. We're going to read, continuing, you could say, Mangalacharana or invocation to this chapter, text number 1. You won't probably be able to follow, but you can try if you want. Vande Chaitanya Devam Tang
Vande Chaitanya Devam Tam
Bhagavantang Ichaya
Bhagavandam Yadichaya
Prasabang Natyate Chitrang
Prasaham Atyade Chitram
Lekarang, I can't read it very well. Lekarange Jatopyayam.
Lekarange Jatopyayam.
This is an amazing book which has been produced. This is the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita in one book. It came in 17 volumes originally, but they put it in one book. There's a few missing things. The Bengali text is not there, but unless you're a Bengali, you won't be able to read it anyway. And it's amazing. But the problem being is that writing is a little small. It's readable. There's another one, which is you have to have a magnifying glass to read. They actually provide a magnifying glass when you get it. But it's out of stock for decades, I think. It comes with a special magnifying sheet which you put over the page so you can read it. This one you can just about read, but I'm struggling. I offer my respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for whose desire I have become like a dancing dog, and suddenly taken to the writing of Chaitanya Charitamrita, although I am a fool. This is Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author, speaking here, or writing here. Jai Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Chandra. Jaya Jaya Paramananda Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Paramananda Jaya Nityananda.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as Gaura Sundar. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto Nityananda Prabhu, who is always very joyful. Jai Jai Advaita Acharya Kripa Maya.
Jaya Advaita Acharya Kripa Maya.
Jaya Jaya Gadadha Pandit Mahashaya.
Jaya Jaya Gadadha Pandit
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Advaita Acharya, who is very merciful, and also to that great personality of Gardhar Pandit, the learned scholar. Jaya Jaya Srivasadi Yatha Bhaktagan.
Jaya Srivasadi Yatha Bhaktagan.
Panatahaya Vandam Sabhara Charan. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Srivasa Thakur and all the other devotees of the Lord. I fall down to offer them respect. I worship their lotus feet. So he's just offering his respects to the Panchatattva. The previous chapter 7 was the very famous chapter. The Supreme Lord in 5 features, the Panchatattva. So now he's offering his obeisances to them, and this will be the last verse which we'll read in this part. I'm not going to read the Sanskrit, the Bengali rather, I'll read the English. By remembering the lotus feet of the Panchatattva, we will read this nice verse. Please repeat. Mukam kavitra kareyan sabara smarane.
Mukam kavitra kareyan sabara smarane.
Pango giri lange andadeke taragane.
Pango giri lange andadeke taragane.
By remembering the lotus feet of the Panchatattva, a dumb man can become a poet. A lame man can cross mountains. And a blind man can see the stars in the sky. This, in other words, by remembering the Lord, especially the Panchatattva, the form of the Lord in 5 features, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. And elsewhere we see, or we hear, that the secret, by remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Gauranga, even impossible things become easy, and if we forget him, easy things can become basically impossible. So the whole idea of this is that we remember, smaranam, plus remembering. And I know where my computer is, it disappeared. Here it comes. We'll go back in a minute to the Chaitanya chart and read it.
Should I take the book?
No, we're going to be bouncing backwards and forwards here. I just have to cancel that out because we've got the book instead. We have the book, we don't need that. We don't need that. We have the book. Let's see, where should we start here? Oh, okay, I got the idea. The problem is I can't find the cursor. Oh, there it is. Sometimes. Oh, mystical. What's going on? Oh, I see what's happening. The flowers on top of the keypad. I was wondering what was going on. Okay. Now, when we hear this, you could say there's different types of hearers. There are different types. This is described, different types of hearers. Every one of us is hearing differently. We fall into different categories, but predominantly there are 2 methods of hearing. Say, one is when we hear the oral hearing. The other is when we read. There are many other factors within it, but those 2. The same thing when we chant. When we chant, you can chant in the mind, or you can chant verbally or orally. So, Sri Sanatana Goswami, I'm not sure I have to look at where exactly this is from, but it's from Sanatana Goswami. He describes different types of japa. We could also use this in reference to any Harikatha as such. So there's three, which he describes, three kinds of chanting. And then there are many varieties with that, but three primary. One is called Vachika. Vachika is Uvacha. Arjuna Uvacha is quite simple. You probably all know better than I do what that means. What is Vachika? Yeah. Loud. Audible. Vachika Japa. The word Japa, these terms are there, but let's just take it as we know it. Vachika Japa is included within the limb or anga of Kirtan. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. Lord Chaitanya came to introduce this Sankirtan. He doesn't talk about Japa, but here Sanatana Goswami is saying that Vachika Japa is within the anga of Kirtan. We call it Japa. Generally, Japa is within the mind. It's not. There's no sound. It's an internal thing. Generally, strictly speaking, private. But here we see the loud Vachika Japa, and when we say Japa, it's not. We mean something specific, isn't it? We're chanting mantras in a certain regulated way, like that, usually on beads. Vachika Japa is included within the anga of Kirtan. And there's three, but there's another one mentioned here. Manasika Japa. What's Manasika Japa? Mind. Man in the mind. Man in the mind. Engage your mind in thinking of me, Manasika. Manasika Japa is included in the anga of Smarana. Interesting understanding there. We don't usually look at it like that. We just put them all in the category of Japa, and then there's Kirtan. Something different, isn't it? Like before we started. Then again, you get the breakdown. Was it a bhajan? Was it a kirtan? These fine line, let's say, definitions, descriptions, it doesn't matter really. The main thing is it's glorifying Krishna, but a specific understanding of Vachika Japa being within the realm of Kirtan is quite significant. As that Sankirtan, when we come together like here today, we may chant Hare Krishna on our beads together. It comes under the anga of Kirtan. Not just Kirtan, Sankirtan. Sankirtan. Chanting together in Sangha. You come here for Sangha. So that's what it is. Not just hanging around talking about your latest baby or someone else's baby or the news of the world or whatever it is. But it's coming together, Sankirtan, for this reason, to hear and chant together. And Jiva Goswami says in the Bhakti Sandarbha, and he quotes, the Acharyas don't make things up. Everything they say is based on, a scriptural reference or passed down through the parampara. In the Javali Samhita, which you probably haven't read. Anyone read it? I don't even know where it is. One of the Samhitas, commentaries on the Vedas. In the Javali Samhita, the process of Namasmarana has been described. Those who are desiring of obtaining unlimited varieties of spiritual bliss should always perform japa. So based on those two statements, that means those who are performing what type of japa? Manaska, in the mind, smarana, in the mind. So this is recommended. can't deny that. It is recommended to chant like that. However, I'm not quite however yet, but anyway, however will come in a minute. Meditation, singing and kirtan of the topmost names of Sri Hari. There's something missing in that sentence. Anyway, but in the practice of namasmarana, one cannot obtain spiritual bliss as long as the heart remains impure. Has anyone got an impure heart? Has anyone got an impure heart? Can you hear what I'm saying or not? Because everyone who doesn't put their hand up means you've got a pure heart. You've got one or the other. There's nothing in between. Or you have no heart at all. Hands up, everyone who's got an impure heart. Hands up if you have a pure heart. And if you didn't put your hand up, you've really got a problem. Need a heart transplant or something.
That's for sure.
Huh? Maybe it's better than having an impure one, I don't know. No, it's not. Because he says here, in the practice of namasmarana, one cannot obtain spiritual bliss as long as the heart remains impure. Because you would say the process is one of purification, but you won't taste spiritual bliss. Whereas the practice of Nam Kirtan does not depend upon purification of the heart. In other words, you can't really perform Nam Smarana if your heart is impure. You can't focus, can you? Very difficult, isn't it? Maybe for a few moments. The mind is distracted by all the impurities, the anarthas, the unwanted, when I say unwanted, but other things. So in Nam Kirtan, does not depend on that. Anyone can chant. Even if you're sinner number one, anyone can chant. Therefore, Nam Smarana is less effective than Nam Sankirtan, and Nam Sankirtan has greater importance. It's not just a Yuga Dharma business, but in general. That's why emphasis put on this Vachika, this chanting. We'll go back a little bit in a minute to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Perhaps we'll do that now. Can you kind of be a holder of the imputer? I'll have to skip over these. There's too many verses. We'll be here till late night. We're quite late starting here. I'm going to the text number 26. Oh no, there's a very important verse. Text number 24, 25, and 26. Okay? I'll just read the English. There are offenses to be considered while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, simply by chanting Hare Krishna, one does not become ecstatic. And then Prabhupada describes those offenses. He also quotes from the Padma Purana, the original Sanskrit verses, which describe the 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy name, aparadha. The next verse, well, actually, we just mentioned here, Prabhupada mentions also in the purport that, yeah, we may be chanting offensively, or a best namabhas, but that's also considered impure. It's not like, that's it. That's okay, it's on the idea of namabhas, or the endeavor to avoid the offenses, is that we're endeavoring to come to the pure platform of chanting, but we're not there. So it's recommended for those who do, because as we've already heard, one does not become ecstatic. The heart is impure, so many things there. But it's said that if we approach the Panchatattva first before we chant, in this way our chanting will become offenseless. Now we don't just take that for granted, that we just say Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta, and then it doesn't matter what we do. It's not like that either. But the inevitability is that when we chant Hare Krishna, our mind will wander. The inevitability is there that unwanted thoughts will suddenly pervade our consciousness. These things happen. Or other forms of sleep, and many things may happen. Distractions of various kinds are there. Ill thoughts, misconceptions. Most likely material attachments also come in. So many things. Maybe we've got some envy towards another devotee, which can pervade our consciousness while we're chanting. That may be almost inevitable at some point. That will happen, otherwise we're chanting in pure Shuddhanam, more or less. So this is the recommendation, Chaitanya Charitamrita, that we chant the Panchatattva mantra before we start chanting Hare Krishna. Now, there's also another factor which is important, and there are many others too, is our, let's say, our attitude, the concept that when we chant, not that we're just doing that can become, the Lord Chaitanya doesn't accept offenses, but still you could say, in one sense, it's offensive mentality. We just do that so we can get away with murder. Or we chant Hare Krishna, you know the term. Not literally, we hope, but the principle. We should also have the right concept when we chant, the right understanding. That at least we're endeavoring, we're praying to the Panchatattva to please, should be merciful so that we can actually approach the lotus feet of Srinam purely. By their mercy it becomes possible, even though we may be full of material desires. The next verse says, and this is a famous verse, and I think it's from Srimad Bhagavatam, it looks like. Yes, it is. In the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam you'll find this verse. If one's heart does not change, tears do not flow from his eyes, his body does not shiver. Well, my body was shivering earlier on, and I don't know about tears flowing from the eyes, maybe sometimes. Bodily hairs do not stand on end. So if your heart doesn't change, tears do not flow from his eyes, his body does not shiver, and his bodily hairs do not stand on end, as he chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it should be understood that his heart is as hard as iron. Ooh, that was hard, wasn't it? That was a heavy blow. This is due to his offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord's holy name. And now tonight we're all going to practice crying, shivering, hairs standing on end, frothing at the mouth. What else are we going to do tonight? What were the other ones?
Stunned.
Huh?
Frozen, stunned.
Huh? Stunned? That's further. That's after. Let's do one thing at a time tonight. We'll do that next time. Okay. So Singeshwar Prabhu is going to give a demonstration now how to chant. Tears in his eyes. Come on, let's see the tears. What's wrong with you? Your heart must be like iron. You've got to cry. See, you shiver. Hairs standing on end. Anyone got their hair standing on end? Modern day, a lot of the young devotees have their hair standing on end. Any of you guys have your hair standing on end? Some of you got curly hairs, but not quite standing on end. Some of us have no hairs to stand on end. What do you do if you're old and bald and you've lost all your hair? And shivering, well, okay, that's quite easy. Just turn the temperature down to 1 degree Fahrenheit, and we'll start shivering. And it doesn't quite mean as simple as it sounds, does it? There is a class of people who do practice imitating these symptoms to get some cheap followers, adoration. Sahaja. We got any sahajas here tonight? They can demonstrate this for us. Any sahajas besides me? Anyone else? Huh? Anyone? No? No, you haven't got any tonight. You didn't invite any tonight. You could have given us a demonstration. They roll on the ground sometimes as well. Rolling on the ground, tears pouring from their eyes. And they do, they start shivering. You see them quite often in Bengal. Even at devotional programs, ISKCON programs. The Prabhupada, what's he say in the purport? Let's see what he says. Srila Prabhupada says, if we can read it. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you want to read more on this, by the way, Bhagavatam 2.3.24. There's quite a long purport there in the Bhagavatam 2.3.24. But Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, commenting on this verse, remarks that sometimes a Mahabhagavat, or a very advanced devotee, does not manifest such transcendental symptoms as tears in the eyes. Whereas sometimes a Kanista, you know what a Kanista Adhikari is? What's the Kanista Adhikari for? Anyone doesn't know? Kanista Adhikari. What's a Kanista Adhikari? Pardon? A neophyte. Neophyte. Those arguing and justifying themselves and so on. Neophytes. Beginners on the path. Beginners. And the sahajas are definitely categorized. They're prakrita, they're materialistic. They have some devotional tendency, no doubt, but they're materialistic, very materialistic, self-motivated. Different types of kanistas are there. And so the kanista adhikari, or neophyte devotee, displays these symptoms artificially. Another symptom of us neophytes is we're always looking for respect, some recognition for what we do, or for who we are, a position. We're looking for a position, and showing off, attached to our talents. Thinking that these are symptoms of devotion or something. They can be used in devotional service, but they're not symptomatic. This does not mean, however, that the neophyte is more advanced than the Mahabhagavat. Prabhupada said that the Mahabhagavat generally does not display these symptoms, even if he's experiencing them. He doesn't display them. He's like a very rich person. I mean, India is just common. A really extremely rich person, generally they don't show there. I've seen many times they dress like an ordinary person on the street. Sometimes they don't even drive in a decent car. They don't even have a car. Well, they do, but they don't show it. And for various other reasons too. I mean, we know what they are. You're likely to get robbed or something. Whereas, people show off, they haven't got anything much, but they show off whatever little they've got and try to make it something important. One who's actually got the most valuable thing doesn't necessarily show it off. At least he doesn't show it and display it in front of imitators or those who are envious, non-devotional, etc. The test of the real change of heart, which is this verse says the change of heart must be there. The real test of the real change of heart that takes place when one chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. What's the real test? What's the real test? Is it you start crying, you start rolling on the ground and throbbing, and your hairs are standing on end, and whatever, frothing at the mouth? What's the real symptom? Practical. Because the pure devotee doesn't display these, even if he experiences them internally. Prabhupada rarely did. He occasionally manifested, but he would always keep them controlled. What's the symptom that is a perceivable
Also chant more.
Transformation of heart.
Yeah, so what's symptomatic of that transformation of heart? I mean, that's difficult to ascertain, is it? A transformation of heart. Most people think that means, you've got a new heart, heart transplant. Yes, ma'am?
Wants to chant more and detachment from material.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. Here, the first one is detachment. One becomes detached from material recognition, name, fame, prestige, and so on, which is pretty difficult to imagine almost. It's very subtle also. You may put on a good show externally, but internally you're seething inside, You're not getting the respect you need. We're trying to behave humbly, and inside we're really, burning inside. Difficult to actually, it's not just a matter of controlling it, it's a matter of actually experiencing it. That transformation. No more desire for that. Or to speak of gross sense enjoyment in the form of wealth or women, followers, property, and so on. So that's the transformation, or that's the change of heart mentioned here. The real test is the change of heart takes place when we become detached from material enjoyment. So now we're going, not just detached from material objects, but the enjoyment that is supposedly experienced from it, whether it's gross or subtle. There's an attachment, it's a natural attachment of the soul to want to enjoy because it's constitutional, but it's not meant to be depending on material causes. Even for a pure devotee, although he may, you could say, enjoy the taste of nice prasadam. Why does he enjoy that taste?
It's Krishna's mercy.
Pardon?
Because it's Krishna's mercy.
Yeah, because it's Krishna's mercy, yes. And we're naturally enjoying. Krishna likes us to enjoy also. But another angle is, if he feels this is very nice prasadam, then what is prasadam?
Mercy.
Mercy.
Mercy. What does that mean? When we talk of prasadam, let's get more specific in terms of, there's a plate of what we call prasadam, isn't it? We don't say, here's a plate, it's Krishna's mercy. It is also Krishna's mercy, there's nothing on it. Everything is Krishna's mercy. But the food on it is what makes it, everything is Krishna's mercy, even. We don't like to use such a nasty example, but even non-vegetarian food, in one sense, is all Krishna's mercy for those who are in that mode. But what do we say when we say, Prabhu, we're serving prasadam?
Sanctified.
Pardon?
Sanctified.
Sanctified food. But how is it sanctified? It's offered to who?
Reverence of the Lord.
We hope it's offered to Krishna. We don't just eat, do we? So, we hope that we do our best to actually offer it. How do we offer it? We just stick it in front of the pictures and say, eat this. What's the mood? What's the whole point of this? What are we doing this for? And then we just stick it in front of the pictures as quickly as we can and pull it off as quickly as we can. Sometimes. And maybe there's justification in some rare cases, or some cases. But what are we actually doing? We're not just, yes, we're recognizing everything's the mercy of Krishna. But we want to try to please Krishna, don't we? So when the prasadam, when the food is very nicely cooked and tastes very nice, the devotee thinks, oh, this is very nice, Krishna has been given some nice offering for his pleasure. So hopefully he's very happy. But Krishna knows, if you haven't got the facility, the ability, the means, that's another thing. But if you do have the facility and the ability, you should do it. Not that we offer Krishna, a little bowl of peanuts, and then in the back room we're eating samosas and gulabs and everything else. We've got, we're very rich, but we just offer Krishna some very simple thing, then we go out to hopefully vegetarian restaurant, eat like pigs, you know. Spending hundreds of dollars. But we try to do everything for Krishna's pleasure. So pure devotee is very happy. Chaturvida. Oh no, what's that verse? Chaturvida Shri Bhagavat Prasado Sadvana Triktan Hari. What is that? That the pure devotees are very happy when they see the devotees honoring. Not just eating, but honoring Bhagavat Prasad, food offered to Krishna. Try to honor it. Don't just. I'm talking to myself here, but in terms of, you know, preaching. I'm sure you're all honoring it very nicely. I don't. I just like to eat what I like. But, you know, try to remembrance at least of Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna, remember Krishna. So, like that, we try to do that which pleases Krishna. This is a real change. If one is actually advancing in spiritual life, he must become very much detached from material enjoyment. Doesn't mean free of enjoyment. There's unlimited enjoyment in devotional service, but it's with Krishna in the center. If it is sometimes found that a Kanishta Adhikari shows artificial tears in his eyes while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, but is still completely attached to material things, his heart has not really changed. The change must be manifest in terms of one's real activities. Manifest in terms of one's real activities, not just some, you know, star in the sky, a shooting star, you know. As soon as you get out of there, you know, you're straight into the pub, or you light up a cigarette, or, you know, you're having a punch-up outside, or whatever it is, you know, doing some mundane thing, watching the movies, chatting up a girl, or boy, whichever you are. It's not the idea. Huh? It's not like, yeah, you had a change of heart for 5 minutes, and then you had a change of heart back the other way again 5 minutes later. It's a permanent effect. The change of heart is not just some, you know, most of us, you know, people go to church, maybe they get a little bit of sort of kind of religio feeling when they're there, and they become all holy for a few minutes, and then it's all over as soon as they go outside, or it's very quickly over. This is not, a change of heart is a permanent state. It's not just some temporary effect. So in the beginning stage it will be like that, you know, when we're in the association of devotees or absorbed in hearing and chanting something or another, some service. But then, you know, it's not necessarily permanent, it's not a sthayi bhava. It's not a permanent emotion or a permanent state. It's dependent on circumstances. So that will be there. That's why Prabhupada formed this movement, to create Sangha, so that we can at least come into that association for as long as we can. And we try to carry that with us when we go home or wherever we go. We try to impart some of those learning, understanding, whatever, remembrances, wherever we may go. Let's read on. Simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offenses vanquishes all sinful activities. Vanquishes all of them. Now it doesn't mean to say that it's like all or nothing here. When we chant before we reach the pure stage, there's bound to be some offenses. So sinful reactions are being eradicated, but they're not completely eradicated. They're being eradicated at different stages. As long as we don't commit offenses, knowingly at least, in the process of chanting, then we can continue in that direction. Otherwise our devotional service may become stunted, especially if that is pointed out to us and we neglect or reject that, you know, let's say, offering of Krishna through others to help us to avoid committing offenses. And there's so much we could say here, and it goes on and on. I really suggest you read this Chaitanya Charitamrita whenever you get the chance. There's an amazing purport by Prabhupada. I won't read it. Next verse. When one's transcendental loving service to the Lord is actually awakened through this chanting offenselessly, it generates transformations in the body, and that's when it really happens spontaneously, automatically, which we've already heard. As a result of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one makes such great advancement in spiritual life that simultaneously his material existence terminates and he receives love of God. The real point is, love of God is not just to have tears in the eyes or feeling great or whatever. It's actually the actual love for Krishna. This spontaneous, natural love. The holy name of Krishna is so powerful that by chanting even one name, one very easily achieves these transcendental riches. It sounds contradictory almost. And very easy. It's possible by chanting one name, but generally it takes a bit more than that. If one name is chanted purely, absolutely purely, or you could say one name is the beginning of the path of perfection. Everything's possible, but the process is generally one of practice. We'll leave it at that. And we're going to read from the computer. Back to where we left off, or maybe a step forward one. Let's see. So, having heard a little bit from Chaitanya Charitamrita, I'm going to read a few more quotes here. This is some letters of Prabhupada. Early letters, 67. I'm glad to learn that you are making advancement in Krishna consciousness very sincerely. When you first start, it's pretty easy to make advancement, isn't it? It's like if you've got nothing and someone gives you one, and you've got a lot, it's like a big change. But if you've got a million and someone gives you one, you don't notice the change. So in the beginning, it's like a huge effect when we first come, isn't it, into practicing devotional service. What will be some of the early effects that you may experience when you first come? I mean, if you're actually on the positive side, I mean, obviously somebody who's envious or negative at this point of time they may experience the opposite effects. But for those who are actually on the positive side, what will be some of the first effects?
Happiness.
Two at once, too. That's interesting. Okay, 1, 2. You say first.
And enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's quite common, isn't it? You're very, see, the new members are very enthusiastic. The old members are not necessarily so enthusiastic. They may be, but not always. Yes, you had the same thing or different? Prabhu?
No, I was just saying, being happy.
Okay, happy. That's another thing. Wow, I feel so good. Yes.
Astonishment,
Astonishment?
like Krishna's supremacy.
Yeah, you may be astonished by the whatever you hear from the devotees about Krishna. You never even realized that before. Most people's idea of God is very vague or almost non-existent. Then you hear all these things about Krishna and God. It's quite astonishing. It's quite amazing. I never ever thought that in my life. I'd never heard that before. It's quite astonishing what you're saying. Especially when you hear about Lord Nrsingadev or something like that. Anything else?
Gratitude.
Pardon?
Gratitude. Gratefulness.
You may well do that for sure. I mean, not everyone will feel the same, but you may well feel gratitude when you come, a great relief and great thankful for this wonderful opportunity, Devaki. Yes, David.
You feel everybody else is very advanced and the only fallen.
Oh, there's a good one, isn't it? You realize just, I mean, when I first came to the temple, I mean, in London, there were very few devotees who'd been in the movement more than 3 to 6 months. In London. I mean, in America, yes, but not in London. And there were 1 or 2 who had been in the movement longer, but not many. One of them, I don't know if he still lives there, Dayananda Prabhu. You may know, he was in New York for a long time. One of Prabhupada's earliest disciples in Los Angeles, 68 he joined. He was there, but I didn't see him first. I thought, oh my God, these people. And I asked someone how long they'd been in the temple. They said 3 months. I was like taken aback. They'd been there for 3 months. It was like, wow. They've been 3 months in the temple, It's like, Wow. I mean, you wouldn't think anything of that nowadays. Oh my, they're just a complete neophyte. They know nothing, you know. But then, you know, we were thinking, really. I mean, they're giving classes. After 3 months, you would definitely be given a class, that's for sure. Even if you're not initiated. Perhaps you have to go and open a temple somewhere after 3 months. It did happen like that. I don't think like that now, but that's pretty much how it was then, because there was nobody much more than that anyway. So it's a big step. Huh? So all these different things, you may also become a little distasteful or even disinterested in many material things. That's probably one of the biggest challenges for some, isn't it? So, especially if your family members don't feel the same way, isn't it? Suddenly you're not interested in sex anymore. Pretty challenging one in family life sometimes, especially for young family members. Or you don't want to go to the cinema anymore. Or go, you know, here, there, and everywhere that we were doing before. Drinking, smoking, eating everything and anything that tastes good. Going to McDonald's, whatever it is you were doing. All these things, not interested. You're at work, you know. Okay, we're going to have a party. Come along, John. You coming to the party tonight? Okay, John, let's have a drink. You going to pay first? I don't drink anymore. Oh, really? Well, okay. Anyone got a lighter to light up cigarettes? I don't smoke anymore. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, let's have a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee anymore. Okay, well, we're going to go to the restaurant. I don't eat in restaurants anymore. Let's go to the cinema. I don't go to cinemas anymore. You know what I mean? It's like you're nobody. You're like you don't exist almost. You know, what do you do? My God, you're such a spoil sport. We don't want you around here. You know, you're ruining everything, man. The family's the same thing. You go home for a family reunion. And I mean, hopefully most of you have vegetarian families, but in the West, they expect to sit down with a Christmas turkey. You're trying to bring the turkey back to life, What the heck's going on, right? Let's have a drink, and you're very difficult, isn't it? It's a challenge. But that happens. You don't want to do those things anymore. Automatic, isn't it? You know that. You've experienced that just now, your family. Difficult. And then you start sleeping on the floor. You may not do that. We were doing that. You're taking a cold shower, getting up at crazy hours of the morning. Half your family are just going to bed and you were getting up. Sitting there, mumbling away for hours on end. You're driving everyone nuts, isn't it? And even more so if you go out and start chanting loudly out in the street at 3 o'clock in the morning. Some of us were doing that sort of stuff. You don't do that, I know. It's quite a radical change that takes place, not just an internal emotional change, but a literal physical change takes place, isn't it? Your whole objectives change quite considerably. So that's making advancement very quickly in the beginning. You give up these things and you live very austere in those days. Really austere compared to now. Yes, Prabhu.
You get more tolerant also with your body discomfort?
You generally do. You generally do. Yeah, and maybe many other follow-ons to that too. Some of them may not be so intelligent. Sometimes devotees reject all kinds of help when you have bodily difficulties or so. You can be a little bit, impractical, a little bit lack of common sense. You've got to have common sense is also there. It shouldn't be devotee become like completely callous to everything and devoid of common sense, how to deal with things. While chanting Hare Krishna, Prabhupada says, you should always feel the presence of Krishna in person. And as soon as you remember Krishna in person, you can remember also about his talks with Arjuna. This is 67. It's not just very early. Should we be conscious of Krishna? So this is hopefully another symptom when you first come. We're thinking of Krishna probably quite a lot, actually. Find devotees, they say that when they first come. Wow, I'm dreaming of Krishna. I'm thinking of Krishna. I can't wait to go to the temple. You're eager to get to the temple. And when maybe after some years, oh God, same guy giving class, same subject matter, same food every week, Can't they learn to cook something different, Isn't it? Oh my God, the same guy is singing the kirtan again. He's just interested in his own false ego. Plays a drum like a blooming, whatever, elephant or something. The noise is just unbearable. Oh no, she's here again. Yuck. Can't stand to see. Sometimes all kinds of crazy stuff comes up, isn't it? Sometimes. These are challenges, tests, which we have to overcome, no doubt. If you cannot remember Krishna in person, you should try to hear attentively the word Krishna. This is 67. If you can't, Prabhupada says, if you cannot remember Krishna in person, you should try to hear attentively the word Krishna and Hare as you go on chanting. And basically that's more or less how we don't very often go much beyond that. Regarding your first question, is it offensive to think of Krishna's pastimes while chanting? This is another letter in 68. Well, you could say, well, Krishna is probably just giving everyone encouragement. But probably a little bit more than that. I think you should know that it is not offensive, but rather it is required. One must try for the point when he simply hears Krishna. Now here's the qualification here. When one simply hears Krishna. What does Krishna say if you don't hear him in the Bhagavad Gita? 18th chapter. You'll be lost. If you don't hear me, get that verse. Someone look it up, 18th chapter. I don't know the verse number, but you'll find it there. One must try for this point when he simply hears Krishna, and immediately all of Krishna, his pastimes, his form, his quality, are in his thoughts. It comes automatically. It's not like you have to kind of force it in there. We try to hear the sound of Krishna's name, and if we're hearing purely, then naturally all these other thoughts will come. You see, like if you hear the name of your little child or something, all the thoughts about the child come, your remembrances of what he does, the way he talks, the walks, dresses, everything comes in naturally. The whole child comes into heart. Do you find it?
Yes.
Read it. You two are experts.
Sanskrit or just English?
Just English.
If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost.
You'll be lost. So not hearing Krishna, you can mean that in terms of the instructions he gives him, but it's also can be taken in terms of hearing the sound of Krishna's name.
1858.
58?
1858.
1858. It's very simple. Either way, we should hear. Hearing is the primary way that the change of heart takes place. It takes place by Krishna's mercy, of course. But from our point of view, it's the hearing. You have to hear. The more we hear the right subject matter, Harikatha, attentively, the more the change of heart is likely to take place. Krishna's pavitram, he is the purifier. It's like the sun. The more you stay in the sun, the likely is that you're going to get sunburned. Or the effect of the sun will be felt. Krishna Surasam Maya Hayandakara. When we are full in Krishna, then where there can be any chance for Maya in us. Simple. So this is our duty, to remember Krishna's pastimes. one who cannot remember Krishna, let him always chant Hare Krishna. And then when he has perfected this art, then always he will remember Krishna, his activities, his qualities, etc. The answer to your second question is that when one becomes accustomed to inoffensive chanting, then his fruit is that he is promoted to the stage of pure love of Godhead, or prema. This prema is the perfectional stage of consciousness and the most blissful by very far. So Prabhupada is practically summing up everything in that letter. That was a letter to Shivananda Prabhu, early devotee here in America, 1968. What happened there? Here's a letter to Satsrup in 69. In 69, Satsrup Maharaj was married. Yeah, he was married. He was in Boston. He was married to Jadharani. Yeah, you may have heard of her. Regarding Jadharani's question, hearing the vibration of Hare Krishna automatically reminds one of Krishna's pastimes. So both of them arise simultaneously in the mind when one is sincerely chanting. So you cannot make any distinction between listening to the sound and thinking of the pastimes. But the process is to hear. But don't jump the gun, as they say. The first thing is to try to hear the sound of Krishna's name. Automatically, that will, maybe not immediately, but will evoke remembrances of Krishna's pastimes, form, qualities, etc. They will automatically come to mind. That is very nice. From these two letters, Satsrup says that the first step is to simply hear, and then from that, naturally, the spontaneous stage will come. We have to go through the process. I was summarizing it all very quickly in the early days. We know it is, fans out a little bit over a period of time. One who cannot remember Krishna, let him always hear Hare Krishna. Then, when he has perfected the art, always he will remember Krishna. In the second letter, Prabhupada says that we cannot make a distinction between listening to the sound and thinking of the pastimes, but the process is to hear, and then Krishna's pastimes, form, qualities will automatically come to mind. This is similar to Krishna's statement in the 12th chapter of the Gita, that one should always think of him what's the 12th chapter of the Gita called? Can you give me the water? I can't kind of get around the computer. The other one, the glassy one. Thank you. What's the 12th chapter called? You've all read the Gita, almost everyone's hands up. Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. So what's the thread in the 12th chapter, which is referred to here? What's the subject matter of the 12th chapter? I mean, you don't just say devotional service. What's the breakdown? Practical breakdown. There's a philosophical conclusion at the beginning of how devotional service is superior to the practice of, Ashtanga yoga and this and that, although they both have the same goal. Devotional service is easy because Krishna, picks that devotee out of the ocean of birth and death. But the practical aspect of that chapter is very interesting. Yes, it is very interesting. What is it? How many of you have read the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita? Not so many hands have gone up. When I asked how many have read the whole Gita, more hands went up. Maybe you jumped over the 12th chapter. Maybe it's not in your, maybe it's left out. The printing is a printing error. Printing error. We don't remember much, do we? That is Kali Yuga. It's just how life is, Anyway, basically, Prabhupada, Satsrup mentions it here, Maharaj mentions it here. This is similar to Krishna's statement in the 12th chapter of the Gita that one should always think of him spontaneously. The first thing he's defining is that this is the position of devotional service. And then he says, what do you do if you can't do it? which we can. Sometimes we suddenly remember Krishna, but a lot of the times we don't. So what do you do if you can't do that? Spontaneous means it's permanent, it's stay, it's always there. It doesn't go away. It's not like, oh, I remember Krishna when I go to the temple, but when I'm outside I don't, you know. When I'm with devotees I do, and when I'm not I don't. It's constant. It's always there. Because everything is Krishna's mercy. Everything reminds you of Krishna. What do you do? Give up? No? What are you going to do?
Aspiring and praying.
You can, that's nice. That's a personal, internal thing. You pray, you aspire, but there's a practical one here. It says that if you can't do it, then you should follow the rules and regulations recommended in Shastra. That will help one to come to that spontaneous path. That's why we practice Vaidhi Bhakti. Why we practice chanting Hare Krishna, rules and regulations. We're not on the spontaneous level. Spontaneous level, you will never stop chanting. You don't have any need of any incentive of any kind. You're automatically doing it because it's constitutional. When you're in a conditional state, we need help to reach that, to awaken that within us. Rules and regulations are there. They're there. Don't artificially impose thinking of Krishna on your mind while chanting. So there we go. Baba says, don't artificially impose thinking of Krishna on your mind while chanting. It's not absolutely wrong, but it's not the process. It should come automatically. So Baba is basically giving all the stages in a couple of sentences in 1967 to total neophytes in devotional service, basically. But now he's expanding it a little bit here. Don't artificially impose. Hear and thoughts of Krishna will come. What should we be thinking of? One guest devotee said, what should we be thinking of when we are chanting Hare Krishna? Prabhupada, beg your pardon. That's not what you should be thinking of. Prabhupada was asking to repeat the question. Guest, what should we be thinking of when we're chanting? Devotee repeats the question. They probably didn't have a funny accent which Prabhupada couldn't understand. Prabhupada, chanting, you simply hear. When you say Hare Krishna, you try to hear the very sound, Hare Krishna. Not so easy, is it? We're so mechanical usually. That's all, nothing more. This is meditation. Your tongue and your ears should be engaged in sounding this transcendental vibration, Hare Krishna. Best meditation. This is also accepted in Bhagavad Gita as the best meditation. Yes, satatam kirtiyantam mamyatantasya devatahaya. You don't keep your mind elsewhere. You keep your mind on the chanting Hare Krishna, man mana bhava mad bhakto. Yes. Focus your mind on me. Krishna is non-different than the Maha Mantra. Keep your mind on the chanting Hare Krishna and hear. One devotee asked Prabhupada one time, Prabhupada, what we do with our mind when we chant? What's the mind got to do with it? What's the mind got to do with it? Just chant and hear, that's all. What's the question of the mind? He said, makes it quite simplistic. We all know it doesn't seem quite as simple as that sometimes, especially for the managers, right? Or every one of you is a manager of one kind or another, family, business, temple, something or another, bodily maintenance. All of these thoughts come pounding in. They're like never end, like the waves of the ocean, aren't they? They keep coming when we chant or not. What's the time now? Oh, we've got to finish them. We started really late, you know. Anyway, we'll carry on another time if we want, if the time allows. We don't have time to go on. Anyway, that's just one thing. Try to hear the name. Try to hear Burjam Prabhu. How many of you have been to japa retreats? A few of you. You have them here in New Jersey? Japa retreats? They used to be very common. I don't hear them so much now. more kirtan retreats now. It used to be more japa retreats. They've gone to kirtan. Some are on prasadam retreats. That would be very popular. You should start that, Devaki, here. You'll get a very good attendance. Prasadam retreat, okay. Bring all the best cooks in ISKCON here, and you'll have a lot of, people will be willing to pay, by the way. Get all the best cooks, Distribute a lot of cookbooks as well. Anyway, I don't know if we have time. We wanted to chat around the japa, but I don't know if time allows. Doesn't really allow, does it?
There's no questions.
Huh?
Everybody has questions.
Well, I was going to chat around. All the answers are there by taking shelter of the holy name. You can ask 1,000,000 questions, and 99% is the same question over and over again. Same person asks the same question. Or a different one, but it's the same thing over and over, never-ending questions. That's good, but it's like it should be some, realization. They're not just questions and no realizations. You can ask many things, and there's a place and time for everything. But we also have to, as we said yesterday or whatever, you go to the doctor and say, "Can you help me with my sickness?" And he ascertains your sickness, gives you the medicine. You come back next week and say the same thing. So I gave you the medicine last week. Did you take it? No. Well, that's why you're asking the same question, you idiot. Take the medicine. You don't take the medicine, so how the heck do you think you're going to answer your questions? This is all theoretical. The answer is there. Hear the holy name. So, what more do you want to know? I mean, that's enough for one. I mean, there are many other things you could say, but if we just take that one thing, so many other things would be dealt with automatically. So many. You may not be able to sit there for 2 hours like that, but at least sometime we should try to take this seriously. Put aside some time to hear the holy name. And there's nobody who says, "I have absolutely no time." Everyone can find at least some time. At least some time. So, whatever you wish, but So? Well, if we got time, I don't know if we got time. It's 9:15 now. Everyone's stomachs are rumbling. I can hardly hear myself talk. The rumbling of stomachs. My stomach's been rumbling since I got here. That's for another reason. You're the boss, Dave Eki. What do you want us to do? I'm here.
No.
Don't fight over it, please.
We're at his home. So
Are we? And it's Krishna's home. Ask the boss.
Prabhuji can.
Huh?
Prabhuji is here, sir.
Who's here?
David.
You're here. Are you going to hear here? Do you want to hear here? Hear here, they say. Different meaning.
He was hearing very attentively.
Pardon? I know, but does he want to hear more? You have to say. All those in favor, put your hands up. Only one. All those against, put your hands up. Well, does it mean everyone else? Either for or against. Difficult. Okay, we'll give it a go. Come on. You don't get this chance very often. Where's my Japamala? And some of you have been with us for a few days. We've been doing this, I think every night. I'm not sure, but at least the last few nights. So, if you haven't got beads, never mind. Just chant anyway. If you haven't got beads. If you've got beads, use your beads. If you've got an app on your mobile, you can use the app. Not a very good idea. Can you take these off and start to reduce the width of my neck? Jai? What are we going to do? Ready? Just try to hear the name. And if you've been to a retreats with Burjan or Satyananamas, pretty much they're repetitive, reminder that just try to hear at least one mantra, try to hear one mantra. And don't worry about the previous one or the next one, just focus on the one you're on, then move on to the next one, do the same thing. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. I saw some of you were slacking off there. What were you slacking off? Rama Hare Hare. Some of you seem to slack off there just before the end. What was that? We finished a round?
Yes.
Has some of you finished a round? Most of you have finished a round?
Yes, Mother.
Yes, well, we talked about that the last few days, why some of you may not have finished a round, or why some of you may have finished a round a long time before that. You may have been chanting at a different pace, but if you were chanting at the same pace, you would have finished at the same time, providing you have 108 beads on your string, and providing you were chanting on each bead, the mantra fully on each bead, and not staying on the same bead or jumping beads. Chanting 5 beads on one mantra with one mantra sometimes happens. The other thing, congratulations, I didn't see a single nodding head. That's another reason you may not have finished. Falling asleep. Come on. Distraction, of course, another reason. I just finish up on one thing. I remember around about 25 years ago, I was in Minneapolis. You know Minneapolis? Is that how you pronounce it? Minneapolis? St. Paul, Minneapolis. And we went with the congregation. There was no temple. We went with the congregation, about 10 of us, 12 maybe, in 2 or 3 cars. We drove up to a lake, straight north. I don't know what it's called. You're a geographer. You know what is it called? Which one? Superior? Lake Superior. There was one town there, quite a popular hangout for people at the weekend, on the shore of the lake. I've forgotten its name. I'll know if you mention it. And they had a boardwalk. You know, a boardwalk? Is that what you call it? Along the water side there. We did kirtan all the way along, a lot of people. And then we went to the lake, to a park. We were going to have lunch in the park. Before we did that, we were going to chant a rounded japa together. So we sat down, about 10 of us, and maybe 1 or 2 people joined us from the kirtan that came along for some reason. Maybe 10 or 12 of us were sat there. We started the japa. I closed my eyes. I didn't open it till the end. I thought there'd be nobody left. I thought I was going to be bored with this. Opened my eyes. There was at least 20 people sat there chanting japa, including persons who hadn't seen us in 50 years. 20 years, 25 years now. 25 years ago. One lady was sat there chanting, I haven't seen you since 1967 in San Francisco. She said, I was a close friend of Allen Ginsberg, and he used to take me to the Hare Krishnas in Haight-Ashbury. And that's the last time I saw you guys. They were living there. And they sat down and chanted with us. You never know, just through japa. Amazing. There were some Buddhists sat there. They liked it. There was some kind of similar to their thing, you know. Hare Krishna. So most of you are still here. You're clapping because now prasadam's ready. At last it's time for prasadam. Thought it would never happen.
Let's thank Maharaj saying Haribol 3 times. Haribol!